5 games like Deep Rock Galactic in less than 5 minutes. Let's roll. Gunfire Reborn is a roguelite FPS set in a world full of humanoid animals. Just like in Deep Rock Galactic, it's level-based and procedurally generated. You can play co-op with up to 4 players, but it's also a blast in single player. It's not set in space, and there's no mining business involved, but on the positive side, there's lots of looting and the replayability score is through the roof. The art is awesome and the game will probably make another addict of you. Like in any roguelite, you do missions, and throughout these missions you try to create this hacky, broken build that can one-shot everything. There are lots of characters to pick from, they're kinda like classes, they have their own abilities. The game is also heavily focused on gun variety, as it's heavily inspired by a game franchise that's also on this list. I'm pretty sure you'll figure out Warhammer Vermintide 2 is a medieval first-person hack and slash. Again, no space or mining business involved, but you do get to kill endless hordes of rats in the most brutal medieval fashion. The game is also very similar to Left 4 Dead, there's just more RPG content in it and the zombies are replaced by rats. The game is mission-based and you've got lots of variety as there are tons of heroes, classes, weapons and talents to choose from. Oh, and by the way, for all of you roguelike fans out there, they also added this roguelike game mode called Chaos Waste. Borderlands is an FPS looter shooter with RPG elements and an awesome graphic style. You can play it with up to 4 players, but it's definitely also lots of fun just playing single player. In this example, I'm talking about Borderlands 3, but most of this stuff applies to the entire franchise. The game is semi-open world with tons of exploration to do. You can visit multiple planets, there's lots of bits of lore to find, it has a campaign, you can pick different classes which are called Vault Hunters, and both them and almost all characters in the world have beautiful amounts of personality. Of course, let's be real here, although there are lots of great titles out there, it is called the loot and shooter. That's of course the core feature of the game, the gunplay and the loot. It's fun, intense, and once again, if you're looking for something to get hooked on, even drugs won't beat this. There's an insane amount of customization with skills, lots of gun variety, grenades, and so on. If you've never played this game before, it's definitely worth checking out. Roboquest is another typical roguelite FPS looter shooter where you get to play as, yes you guessed it, a robot. You select a specific class, clear missions that get progressively more difficult, and like with every roguelite, you get upgrades during your run, but you can also upgrade your character permanently. The art style looks a lot like Borderlands. The game is still in early access and you can play co-op with up to 2 players. Last but not least, Dead Effect 2. This is a first-person sci-fi shooter. There's still no mining, but this one does take place on a spaceship. The game has a story, you complete missions as you explore this spaceship. On your way, you fight zombies, cyborgs, soldiers, and so on. There's lots of loot in form of weapons and gear. Of course, not nearly as much as the 1 billion plus in Borderlands. You can play co-op with friends or kill each other in PvP. I chose this game for the video because in a video about games like Deep Rock Galactic, you should have at least one game in there that has a dark mood and is set in space. Those were the 5 games. I hope you found this list to be useful. If you know any great games that should belong on this list, let me know in the comments below. By the way, some of these games were found on a website called SimilarGames. It's a neat little game recommendation tool I built with the help of some friends. Be sure to check it out. That was all. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.